Jim! Pete!
Oh, you got it.
I gotta back up. You have quantities of these semi-broken phones. Where were we? So rudely interrupted. So here's a little thing that I made.
Oh, yeah, let's get a close-up of that.
And so yeah, here's a way to just sort of like create something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have one of these, there you go. You got it.
Then yeah.
Right?
You're not quite complete.
Without one. I mean, I just feel like my life has reached that sort of place
Yeah.
because of that. Where were we? So we were doing something. when we were so interrupted by
Yeah, we were talking about your morning work.
Oh yeah. So one other thing you can do as a connector. So if you want to build something out of, let's say, bamboo, and you want to either connect them as a termination point or overlapping, by taking this plastic and just wrapping it around and then building another form on the outside, right, that seals it in so you can pour hot sand into it just long enough for it to reach ambient temperature. You can make these very strong, very inexpensive
Crosses.
crosses, but if you have like a structure that requires like them to be all these crosses, like a yurt, you could take and make those connections
With sand
with
and
sand
plastic.
Plastic, hot sand,
Hot sand.
hot sand. Yeah, I mean this is a.
Now, how long did that set?
I did it this morning, so a couple of hours, and this was just because I think it's fascinating. This is this material is basically broken shell, and I guess I should get it analyzed somewhat, but there's a lot of
Organic material.
Organic material.
Yeah.
And so what that can do is if you have some oyster shells, oysters will adhere to or spawn on other oyster shells. I just need a tiny little bit to know that this is a place where other oysters have been. And if you
So you're creating oyster habitat.
oyster habitat.
Basically, yeah.
Habitat. How about that? And yeah, so just to sort of engineer habitat and create. So the other idea is to make these cells out of this material. So you have this sort of, if you can imagine like a honeycomb or hexagon cell that's made out of this material, and have them in the water and have them attached, and so they create this ring that goes around. So this ring has this other structural integrity by being a circle. And you attach these rings together, and water kind of flows around it, but if you have this ring, and then you can build on top of this ring another ring, and you can geometize this thing so it's however you want. So there's lots of different variations. I mean, it's almost as much as you're making a seashell, and you can do all different variations on that. But the idea is that you build this ring, then the front of the cell is sort of kissing and in compression, and the back of the ring is in tension. You're creating this double ring with a compression, tension, and then on the inside you have more tension. Make
A lot of tension.
Sandwich of tension and compression.
Yeah, I'm feeling a
and
lot
you
of
can make
tension.
these very stable floating structures using multiple cells and growing from there.
Huh.
So,
So you're creating coral reef where it's being destroyed almost.
you're creating a place for animals, plants, organisms to congregate.
To live, yeah.
Yeah,
Hang
so
out.
the ocean is a vast desert, if you will. So on red?
Yeah, of course.
Can't tell you how many videos I've shot today that never. Anyway, so to create these cells that they can put in the water, and the ones underwater, and it'll be like multiple cells that eventually rise up out of the water, but the ones under the water providing habitat and creating this ecosystem, and the spaces between the cells as well, having water that goes through there creates other ecosystems,
Got
place
it.
for fish to hide, animals to hide, this and that. So you're creating this coral reef, and on the top, basically the same thing, but the space between the cells is now filled with this growing medium. So you have plants
So it's like
that now
a
get literally-
herbarium on top and an aquarium on the bottom.
There you
All
go.
in one
all in one.
structure. I get it. I get it.
And it floats. And it floats. So if the seas rise,
It doesn't matter.
rise.
It doesn't matter.
you know, it sucks to suck, but you can float anywhere you want as long as you can get there. And so this is a way to get animals and plants and people and utilize this enormous quantity of plastic film waste and bags and all sorts of crap, and you fuse it together to create these cells. So yes, I know it's two crazy ideas.
It's mind-boggling.
That's how I roll. And everything, not everything, but it's like I sit there and I'm like, okay. I mean, and I do actually listen to people, and they, they're, well, how are you going to deal with the waste systems? And there are ways to deal with the human waste systems, and ways to incorporate it into your living situation. And there's ways to deal with water capture, and there's ways to deal with energy retention and all that good stuff. And just try it. Just put it out there.
Give
Start
it
floating.
a shot. Yeah.
Stop floating, less gloating. Thanks.
All right.